Now, let us discuss the colonialism in the African continent.
Till almost the middle of 19th century, Europeans showed no interest in colonizing Africa. They thought that the dark continent had very little to offer them. They just looked at it as the source of slaves. Europeans also did not explore Africa much, as it was located on a high plateau and had a narrow coastal region. But after 1850, the Europeans started exploring the continent in full detail. They made geographical maps and found out the course of all the major rivers flowing there. Soon the Europeans realized Africa's worth. They found precious raw materials like copper, tin, rubber, cotton, tea and cocoa there.
They also looked upon Africa as major market for their produce. Then in 1870s began the scramble for Africa, a period of rapid colonization of Africa by various European powers. Children, we shall now study about some case studies of colonization around the world. From 1869 to 1874, King Leopold II of Belgium sent a secret explorer, Stanley, to Congo region of Africa. Stanley succeeded in cheating the local African chiefs and made them sign treaties by which they lost the control of the land to Leopold II. By 1882, Leopold's African colonies had become 75 times larger than Belgium. These colonies were collectively known as the Congo Free State. Leopold saw these colonies as a source of ivory and rubber. He was a wicked king who levied heavy taxes on the villagers. They were forced to work in the fields. Each person had to give him a fixed quota of rubber, or else his hands were chopped off. Leopold used many harsh and brutal ways to extract profit from Congo. He is infamous as one of the cruelest kings in the human history. Lastly, we will learn about the colonization in South Africa.
The two colonial powers who held territory in South Africa were the Dutch and the British. The British had set an outpost in the Cape of Good Hope to help the passing ships to rest and replenish food supplies. Some Dutch farmers were also settled here to supply their produce to the passing ships. The Dutch and the English came into conflict with native people called Boers. The battle of the British Army against the Zulus and the Boers, known as the Anglo-Boer War, was especially notable.
The British defeated the Zulus and later took power of the Boer republics and united them into a single country, the Union of South Africa, in 1911. It was a self-governing British colony.
In 1939, the National Party, supported mainly by the Boers, won the national elections and started drifting away from British rule. There was no notable warfare or bloodshed, but a continued process of resisting British influence. In 1961, South Africa was granted independence from Britain and became known as the Republic of South Africa.
So, you saw how the early colonizers added to the misery of the local people, how the wealth of the defeated countries was looted and how the natives were tortured. Situation was really bad in the African continent, where the locals were either enslaved or even killed in wars. Thankfully, when the Britishers came to India, they did not actually start the slave trade, but they did kill Indians also. Who can forget the Jallianwala Bagh incident? It is for this reason all the brave freedom fighters of our country got together and freed our country from the British rule.